Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Raw review for the 23rd of August 2021. Continuing to be trash as it relates to the weekly television show. SummerSlam had some good points. Raw, not so much. Anyway, video recap of SummerSlam opens the show. Champion Bobby Lashley and MVP come out to start the show. They air a video package of Lashley Goldberg, and the crowd boos MVP and Lashley. MVP said they know Goldberg was a worthy challenger, but they didn't know that he would bring his son Gage. Goldberg needs extra confidence and distractions. MVP admitted Goldberg looked impressive, but Lashley doesn't seem to agree. MVP said Lashley gets angry and dominated Goldberg. Lashley was the only man ever to stop Goldberg. MVP claimed Goldberg quit and that made him a coward. Crowd chanted for Goldberg. MVP said that Lashley retained his title, but they're attacked from behind after the match by a coward, and Lashley did to Gage what he would have done to anyone who tried to jump him. And they didn't have to worry about anyone in San Diego attacking Lashley because they're all cowards. Lashley said anyone who thought Gage or Goldberg was an apology should go, well, away. And U.S. Champion Damian Priest interrupted. Priest thought it's funny that they were calling Goldberg a coward, even though Lashley attacked him post-match. Priest also thought it was funny that Lashley was acting tough to try and get over with the fans. Priest challenged him to a singles match tonight, and he's a coward if he didn't accept. Lashley attacked him, but Priest fights off and booted him out of the ring. MVP and Lashley accept the match. NXT tomorrow, fallout from TakeOver, clips of Adam Cole were included in the promo, so maybe he hasn't left the promotion. Anyway, U.S. Champion Damian Priest defeat Bobby Lashley with MVP via DQ in a non-title match in 123. What's the point of even having the match? Anyway, Lashley hits Flatliner and goes for spear. Priest catches him off, hits a clothesline. Sheamus runs down, attack Priest for the quick disqualification. Why not just set it up as a tag if that's the way you're going? Sheamus and Lashley attack Priest until McIntyre runs down to make the save. Priest knocks Sheamus over the barricade when McIntyre suplexes Lashley on the floor and on the announce table. Lashley almost lands on his head, and from the first suplex, because he's anticipating table spot, didn't go the way he planned. Then we get U.S. Champion Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre versus Lashley and Sheamus. I don't know. Is this even worth it? Don't really know. Anyway, Priest is toe-to-toe with Lashley. Lashley tries to give him a cheap shot. Lashley backs off. Distraction allows Sheamus to knock down Priest. Lashley drives him into the post before commercial. Heels work over Priest. And then there's a hot tag to McIntyre, who gives Lashley overhead suplexes and a neck breaker. McIntyre sets up the Claymore kick. Gets distracted by Sheamus. Lashley gives him a chokeslam. McIntyre sidesteps a charge, and Lashley goes into the post. Sheamus then tags in and gives McIntyre white noise off the middle rope for near fall. McIntyre ducks road kick, and Priest tags himself in. Knocks down Sheamus before also knocking down Lashley and knocking him off the apron. Lashley decides to leave as Sheamus nails Priest with a knee strike. Sheamus was surprised to see Lashley run away. Priest tagged McIntyre, gives Sheamus a Claymore kick for the pinfall win. Match was fine. Match started during the break, but they go approximately 15 minutes. Sarah interviews Doudrop. Doudrop said she made a mistake aligning herself with Eva Marie. Marie helped her get in the door, but Doudrop is like a name, and she planned on dropping Marie. Marie shows up with an equipment box and sends it into Doudrop, slams her head against it. Marie said that evolution before walking off. Horrible. Karrion Kross defeats Ricochet in 136. Speaking of horrible, waste of time and talent. Kross wins quickly, uses a salto suplex and a cross jacket submission. He's got new gear, and it doesn't help his career. There's a clip of Logan Paul calling Baron Corbin a jerk at SummerSlam. We enter the second hour. Can't believe an hour of my life is gone already. They show a replay of what happened in the tag match earlier, which ended less than 20 minutes ago because we don't know how to create compelling content. John Morrison, Moist TV with guest Logan Paul. Paul is booed by the crowd because he's a celebrity that absolutely no one cares about in the wrestling world, even though Vince thinks they do. Miz interrupts, and he said Morrison forgot to introduce him. He claimed that he's Paul's favorite, but Paul said he was more of a New Day fan. Paul tried talking about boxing fights, but the crowd booed him and chanted that he, well, sucks. The crowd booed until Miz asked what round Jake Paul was going to get knocked out in. They cheered, and Miz said that the bettors wanted to know. Logan said that Jake was winning, and if Miz asked another question like that, he'd get knocked out too. Miz told him to get out of his face. Morrison told Miz to stop making everything about himself. Miz and Morrison should be thinking of getting more out of Moist TV. Paul decided to leave, and they argued. They kept arguing. Xavier Woods interrupts, and Paul doesn't get over. Anyway, Xavier Woods defeated The Miz with John Morrison 11:40. Good match, or good enough, but I don't know that this needs to be nearly 12 minutes of action. Morrison made the floor wet so Miz could slide into Woods into the steel steps. Woods counters and sends Miz into the steps, and Miz is in control post the commercial with very little explanation, if any at all. Woods fights back, takes the Miz out with a flip dive before hitting a crossbody for a near fall. Miz hits DDT, sets up skull crushing finale. Morrison tries spraying Woods with the dipstick, but Woods and Miz both duck out of the way. Miz then uses a roll-up. Referee is distracted by Morrison. Ref turns around. Woods rolls up Miz for the pin and the win. Miz attacks Morrison, beating him down, lays him out, and the crowd is chanting, "Why, Miz, why?" I'm wondering the same, but totally different why. Why am I watching this? Earlier today, Nikki Ash approaches Rhea Ripley in the back and asked her to be her tag team partner against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Ripley said beating up Jackson Baszler would raise her spirits, so she agrees. Reginald walks to the park to get ice cream from the ice cream truck. Truth and Tozawa tried attacking him, and obviously no one cares about that either. Earlier today, Mansoor asked Mustafa Ali to get involved in his match, or not to get involved in his match because he wanted to do it the right way. Mansoor with Mustafa Ali defeated Jinder Mahal with Veer and Shanky 219 via DQ. Mahal kicks Mansoor in the corner and wouldn't stop. 5 count, ref calls for the bell. Why do you even have people get ready for a less than 3 minute match? And Ali tells Mansoor to do things his way. McIntyre's with Priest in the back. McIntyre's impressed. Priest had already showered and gotten dressed. Priest said the champs have to look good. McIntyre would have had that experience not too long ago. Priest also thanks McIntyre for helping him tonight. And Priest said winning the U.S. title is like living a dream. McIntyre suggested they go out for drinks after the show. Third hour begins, and 2 hours of my life is gone. Charlotte Flair promo. Charlotte brags about being a 12-time champion, says no other woman could come close to her legacy. I don't need friends, I don't need family, and I sure as heck don't need the WWE Universe, because all I need to have is right here. How's the title high, and the fireworks go off. Music stops. Charlotte brags about her physique. The crowd should enjoy looking at her instead of the very small former champion. She's here to restore order. She said she started the first ever women's evolution, starting a new one tonight, and tells everyone to bow to the queen. Alexa Bliss interrupted and stood on the stage. Bliss congratulated Charlotte and said, "Lily and I just wanted to say hi." Bliss and Charlotte stared at each other, and the segment ends. So Charlotte Flair is going to be thrown into this goofy wannabe horror film junk. Anyway, Jackson Baszler met backstage. They admitted to having issues in the past, but they also agreed that they were the most dominant team when they were together, and they'd prove it tonight. There's a new Elias video. Before he arrived, WWE stood for World Wrestling Entertainment. He conquered it, the entertainment part, and said he'd conquer the wrestling part and become champion. Once I do that, I can conquer the world. Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley defeat Nia Jackson and Shayna Baszler 10-26. This is way too long for what they can actually handle. Heels gained control over Nikki before the break and remained in control when they returned. Jax does a running hip attack and a stink face, which seems like it gets a pop from the crowd. Jax drives Nikki into the corner, but Nikki kicks Baszler off the apron. Jax doesn't seem to notice her care and sets up a Vader bomb. Nikki kicks her leg and makes the hot tag to Ripley. Ripley then gave Baszler a Northern Light suplex for 2, followed by a missile dropkick. Jax then tried breaking things up in the corner, but Ripley moved and Jax fell onto Baszler instead. Nikki wiped out Jax with a crossbody off the top to the outside. Ripley then gave Baszler a Riptide for the pinfall win. Crowds into this. Apparently, Morrison is in the back and acknowledged that Miz and Morrison are done, which meant no more Miz TV, no more Dirt Sheet, and no more music videos. Morrison ends this next week, and he says he gets his hands on Miz. RK Bro celebration. Riddle gets a big reaction for coming out. He then runs down the events that led to them winning the tag team titles. I gotta grab my phone, so I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail to continue this awful program. And so at the end of the day, there's nothing necessarily fully bad. There's nothing fully bad about the show, but at the same time, a 3-hour program where nothing is consequential and it's just television for the sake of television, I think is a bigger problem for Monday Night Raw, and to a lesser extent, some of the other promotions as well. I honestly believe if you don't have a purpose for the segments you have, then what's the purpose of anything? Anyway, Orton enters. Riddle has a Mike Rome introduce them as the new Raw Tag Team Champions. Fireworks display, so we have people in the middle of a pandemic, but we're making money on fireworks. How mature. And then the crowd cheers, and they chant RK Bro. And Riddle says friendship is important, and so he got Orton a gift, his own scooter. Riddle shows it to him. AJ Styles and Omos interrupt. Styles tells Omos that Riddle got Orton a new scooter so he can break, and then Styles notes that Orton didn't get Riddle a gift, not even a plant. Styles has a gift for Riddle, a forearm to wipe that stupid smile off his face. Styles wants to beat Riddle's tail over and over until they get the tag titles rematch. Next week on Raw, Lashley and Sheamus, Eva Marie and Doudrop, and John Morrison and The Miz. Wow, what compelling television. Not so much. Anyway, Raw Tag Team Champion Riddle with Randy Orton defeats AJ Styles with almost 13-26. Not a bad match by any stretch of the imagination. Anyway, Riddle tries a triangle choke, but Styles shows him off and hoists him up and carries him over to the ropes. Styles tries sending him over the top rope, but counters, and then they both stumble out. After the break, Styles is in control. Riddle comes back and hits an exploder and hits a running kick for the near fall. They trade strikes until Riddle hits a bridging German suplex for near fall. Styles comes back with a backflip, reverse DDT for 2, and then a gutbuster for 2. Riddle then blocks a phenomenal forearm attempt, but Styles transitions into a calf crusher. Riddle then counters into a bro mission. Styles flips over and covers him for near fall. Riddle hits a knee strike, goes for the top, but again is distracted by Omos, and Styles knocks him down. Orton goes after Omos, but Omos chucks him into the aisle. Styles gives Riddle a rack bomb for near fall. Styles sets up the Styles Clash, but distracted by Orton, and Orton attacks Omos repeatedly with the new scooter. Riddle hits Styles with a knee strike, hits the Bro Derek for the pinfall win, and the match is decent enough. Riddle celebrates. Orton lays out Styles with an RKO. Riddle and Orton posed as the show ends. Crowd seems to enjoy these two, and they could be an overact for a while if they wanted to take it that far. Anyway, if 15 minutes covers a 3-hour show, and my gosh, Raw is trash. We'll be back with more right after this.